Hello audience, I'm Lisa. So for the first question, which is A, 1 Roman, is to construct the SYDM depreciation schedule for the machines. So for the first step, all you need to do is to calculate the N, which is N times by M plus 1 and divide by 2, which is 6 times by 6 plus 1 and divide by 2, that equal to 21. Second step, you have to calculate the cost of asset, which is purchase price plus installation plus transportation, which is 52,000 plus 2,700 and plus 3,300, that equal to 58,000. The third step, you have to calculate annual depreciation, which is cost of asset minus salvage value. 58,000 minus 12,000 will equal to 46,000. Okay, next, let's have a look to SYDM depreciation schedule. The schedule indicates the first 6 years rate, annual depreciation, accumulated depreciation, and book value after depreciation. Moreover, the second instrument has been said that calculate the total tax liability that the company has to pay. So for the first step, you have to calculate gain or recapture depreciation, which is selling price minus book value, that will equal to 35,000 minus 33,904 ringgit and 76 cents, that equal to 1,095 ringgit and 24 cents. Second step is you have to calculate tax or recapture depreciation, which is gain or recapture depreciation times to corporation tax rate, which is 1,095 ringgit and 24 cents times by 35%, that will equal to 383 ringgit and 33 cents. The third step is you have to calculate tax on ordinary business income, which is earning before tax times to corporation tax rate, which is 75,000 times to 35%, that will equal to 26,250. Finally, we have reached for the final step, which is we have to calculate the total tax liability. So to calculate total tax liability is tax on recapture depreciation have to plus with tax on ordinary business income, which is 383 ringgit and 33 cents plus by 26,250, that will equal to 26,633 ringgit 33 cents. For the question 1B, it has been said that Budita Crane Services Sindiran Berhad purchased a new crane that cost 500,000. The company also has to spend additional costs amounting to 10,000 for transportation. The crane is estimated to last for 5 years with an expected salvage value of 50,000. Assuming the company depreciates the asset under double declining balance method, prepare the depreciation schedule for this asset by making adjustment to ensure the book value at the end of life of the asset will equal to the salvage value. So we already know that we have to calculate total cost of asset, which is purchase price plus transportation, that will equal to 500,000 plus 10,000, that will equal to 510,000 ringgit. First step, you have to calculate the rate, which is 100% divided by useful life, which is 5, that equal to 20%. Step 2, 20% times to 2, that will equal to 40%. And now you have 40% for the first 5 years rate to calculate the book value before depreciation, annual depreciation, accumulated depreciation, and book value after depreciation. For adjusting DDPM, you can see there is the same amount on year 4 and 5, which is 30,080 ringgit for annual depreciation. That can be said that the business can shift in year 4 and 5. To calculate it, which is 110,000 and 160 ringgit minus 50,000, that will equal to 60,160. But you have to divide by 2 because there is 2 years, which is 4 and 5. And now the final answer is 30,080 ringgit.
Thank you, Miss Lisa. Greetings, I am NAZRIN ADHIM. For expected value, of project MCMC, there are three things need to be calculated, which are boom, stability, and depression. So the sum of R times P of boom, stability, and depression for project MCMC will get the value of 6.25. For the project Cyberjaya, the method of calculation is same. So the project Cyberjaya has the value of 6.70. For variance, so the sum of variance of boom, stability, and depression for project MCMC will get the value of 85.78. For the project Cyberjaya, the method of variance calculation is same as project MCMC. So project Cyberjaya has the value of 10.71. For standard deviation, the square root of variance of project MCMC will get 9.26%, whereas the project Cyberjaya will get 3.27%. For coefficient variance, the standard deviation divided by expected return will get the value. So for project MCMC, the coefficient variance value is 1.48, whereas the project Cyberjaya is 0.49. For Tobishi Incorporation, there are four things need to be found first: selling price, variable cost, contribution cost, and fixed cost. To find break-even point for quantity, the fixed cost will be divided by selling price minus variable cost. To find break-even point for sales or RM, fixed cost divided by CM ratio. That's all from me. Thank you.
So I will continue with question 3. For 3A, have three sources of fund, which is long-term, preferred stock, and common stock. Breaking point is total financing source divided with week for financing sources. In long-term, breaking point for range 300,000 was 750,000, and breaking point for range 600,000 was 1,500,000. In preferred stock, breaking point for range 500,000 was 1 million, and breaking point for range 1 million was 2 million. In common stock, breaking point for range 300,000 was 3 million. Based on breaking point obtained, we can fill the range of new total financing in the table. For 3B, we have calculated the weighted average cost of capital for each range of new total financing that found in A. In order to get WACC, we need to multiple weight with cost. WACC for first range was 8.85, WACC for second range was 9.25, WACC for third range was 10, WACC for fourth range was 10.8, WACC for fifth range was 11.55, WACC for sixth range was 11.60. For 3C, in project A, the cumulative cost was 200,000. For project B, the cumulative cost was 500,000. For project 3, the cumulative cost was 1 million. For project D, the cumulative cost was 1,300,000. For project E, the cumulative cost was 1,900,000. For project F, the cumulative cost was 2 million. For 3D, we can conclude based on this graph. Ramadan Corporation Industry should choose to invest in project A and B because IRR is higher than WACC.
Thank you, Wano. Now I will present the calculation of question 4. As you can see, for the answer in A, you are required to calculate the EBIT in difference level associated with two capital structures. Step 1. Present structure. The formula for interest on debt is equals to value of debt times cost of debt, meaning that 800,000 times 0.06, we will get 48,000. The preferred stock is 0. Then we will calculate the common stock, which is equals to CS value divided by par value, which is 50,000 divided by 10, we will get 5,000 unit. Now, moving on to the second step for answer A, as you can see in the table, it is required for you to make two tables, alternative 1 and alternative 2. For the third step, we need to make two tables which is similar to the second step. are alternative 1 and alternative 2. For this third step, we need to use the formula EBIT minus interest times 1 minus tax minus dividends PS divided by common stock. So, for alternative 1 table in the third step, EBIT minus 81,000 times 1 minus 0.03 minus 5,000 and then divided by 150,000. The result would be negative 70,000, which is equals to EBIT. The same formula method used in table alternative 2, however with different numbers, resulting in the end calculation is 171,928.57. Now, we will go to question B. Calculate the EPS for both structures at the EBIT indifference level. For this question, a table is needed to show a neat calculation. The formula of EPS is EBIT minus I times 1 minus tax minus dividend and then divided by N. The N calculation for both alternative 1 and alternative 2 in this table is 0.391. Moving on to question C. Using the information from answer B, plot the points on a graph paper and show the point of indifference and over what range on EBIT is each structure preferred. As you can see, the table for lower end EBIT in alternative 1, which is the blue line, is 0.055, going to EPS on point 0.391, ending at the high end EBIT on point 0.522. For the alternative 2, which is the yellow line, the lower end EBIT is at point negative 0.616, going to EPS on point 0.391 and ending at the high end EBIT on point 0.784. Lastly, for question D, if the company expects its EBIT to be 600,000, which structure should the company accept it? Explain and show the calculation. So, for the calculation, you can see the table alternative 1 and alternative 2 with the formula used is EBIT minus I times 1 minus tax minus dividend and then divided by N. The difference for alternative 1 and alternative 2 is by RM3.99. So, for the final answer, the company should choose the capital structure from alternative 2 because the earnings per share EPS of alternative 2 is higher than alternative 1. Thank you for listening. I will pass the next question to Aisha.
Thank you, Azri. Now for the last question, which is question 5. For 5A, have two companies, which is Aidil Berhad and Fitri Berhad. Both of them have market price, number of stock, and net income. The formula how to calculate the number of stocks is common stock per par value, and for next income is EPS multiply number of stocks. Then EPS for Fitri Berhad is 1 ringgit 18 cent and EPS for Aidil Berhad is 2 ringgit. So the exchange ratio is 1.8 per 2 equals 0.9. Next, market price for Fitri Berhad is 3 ringgit 16 cent and market price for Aidil Berhad is 8 ringgit. So the exchange ratio is 3.6 per 8 equals 0.45. Then 5B. How to calculate the number of stocks Fitri Berhad received is exchange ratio multiply number of stocks Fitri Berhad. So 0.45 multiply 600,000 ringgit equal 217,000 ringgit. Next, net worth of Fitri Berhad is common stocks plus share premium plus retained earnings. So 600,000 plus 500,000 plus 800,000 equal 1,900,000. Next, 1 Roman purchase the price of Fitri Berhad is market price Aidil Berhad multiply number of stocks Fitri Berhad received. So 8 ringgit multiply 217,000 equal to 1,116,000. Second Roman is calculate the EPS of Aidil and Fitri Berhad. EPS Aidil Berhad is net income Aidil Berhad plus net income Fitri Berhad per number of stocks Aidil Berhad plus number of stocks Fitri Berhad exchange ratio. So 600,000 plus 1,018,000 per 300,000 minus 600,000 multiply 0.45 equal 2 ringgit 95 cent. For the EPS Fitri Berhad is post-merger EPS Aidil Berhad multiply exchange ratio. So 2 ringgit 95 cent multiply 0.45 equal 1 ringgit 33 cent. So as we can see in the schedule for Aidil Berhad, EPS before merger is 2 and after merger is 2.95 and its effect increase in EPS. While for Fiti Berhad, EPS before merger is 1.8 and after merger is 1.33 and its effect dilution in EPS. For the third Roman, here is the formula how to calculate the goodwill, common stocks, share premium, retained earnings and other accounts. For goodwill purchase price minus net worth of Fitri Berhad, then common stocks is number of stocks Aidil Berhad plus number of stocks Fitri Berhad multiply par value Aidil Berhad. Next, share premium is all share premium Aidil Berhad plus market price Aidil Berhad minus par value Aidil Berhad multiply number of stocks Fitri Berhad receive. Then retained earnings is all retained earnings Aidil Berhad, and lastly for other accounts is at both Aidil Berhad and Fitri Berhad, such as current liability of Aidil Berhad and Fitri Berhad. Lastly, post-merger balance sheet under purchase method is cash and marketable securities, other current assets, fixed assets and goodwill. So total assets, all of them is 2,600,000 for Aidil Berhad and 2,800,000 for Fitri Berhad, also 5,616,000 for post-merger, also the same total with current liabilities, long-term liabilities, common stocks, share premium and retained earnings. So that's all from us. Thank you.
이미 노을 보고 또 보르거든 사랑과